guys? It's me, Rico, and for today, I'm gonna be watching My Hero Academy. So it's the second day, and I'm gonna view this together with Johnny Villanueva. After this movie, I'm gonna share to you guys my thoughts. So, the movie's done. Ano man? Ano opinion? It's good. Maganda. So, full review coming up. So, guys, My Hero Academy or Boku no Hero Academy ended up in its last third season with a cliffhanger wherein All Might and Deku, or All Might meets up with a certain female character. This female, and then in relation to this, of course, All Might eventually invites Deku in the anime to go to a certain island for purposes of summer vacation.
アイランド？もちろん知ってます。世界中のヒーロー関連企業が出資して後世の研究やヒーローアイテムの発明等を行うために作られた学術研究都市。移動可能人口とになっていて、その先は一緒に行かないかい。
Now, spoiler warning for those who haven't read far ahead in the manga, or those who are only following the anime. But starting from here onwards, you guys can go read the manga and watch the anime and come back here, of course, if you guys are up to date. Full spoiler warning from here on out, so here we go. So from that point forward, after female character invites All Might, this was not mentioned in the manga, but for the purposes of the movie, this was supposed to be as a direct tie-in to the movie. And I like it when anime series do that. From the last time I watched One Piece Gold, leading up to the One Piece Gold movie, they had this little tie-in filler episode which led up to the movie. Of course, when it comes to One Piece, most of their movies are questionable when it comes to its direct link or its connection to the main story. But for My Hero Academy, what I appreciated about this was that, first and foremost, the story in itself seemed like a very lengthened episode of My Hero Academy episode. So it was like as if you'd be watching the anime and you'd just be watching a single episode, just made into a length of time conducive enough for a movie format. But did it justify paying the 160 pesos for purposes of calling it a movie? For me, at the start of the movie, I would have said no. The pacing of the movie was good. It wasn't slow. There wasn't too much straight on out from the start. They went to full-on flashback, wherein they were able to show All Might together with, accordingly, the one that they were stating was his sidekick. Of course, we all know who the sidekick of All Might is. The guy who's gonna be the boss of Midoriya. But when the trailer came out, I was a little bit curious about the fact that they kept insisting that he would be with his sidekick, because knowing that he had a different sidekick in the manga. So when I saw that All Might was with a sidekick in the trailers, it got me thinking, is this the same guy? Clearly it was different, as you could have seen from the promotional videos and the posters. But going into this movie, it was virtually well explained. They were able to justify that being a hero does not necessarily mean that All Might should have been limited to Japan only. So in this movie, they were able to show that All Might indeed was actually at America throughout certain periods of his career, and it was able to present and justify how he could be known worldwide, considering the fact that the anime or the manga was only able to show that most of his escapades were done in Japan. But this movie was well able to explain and justify that he's also famous not only in Japan but also worldwide in other parts of the world, because of the fact that he did it in a certain place like America, for example. He stayed there and he had a sidekick there. So that's where they were able to justify the fact that he had a sidekick, a different sidekick in the movie. different from the sidekick that we all know from the manga and anime. Because this sidekick, as they explained, was a sidekick that he met while he was staying in America, while he was still an exchange student. So that in itself was a good filler explanation for something that was never shown in the manga or the anime. It seemed as if the characters were just the same usual character. They did not act out of character, unlike most animes that we see. There were no extraordinary feats which they normally could not have done. It proceeds just like any other My Hero Academy story. Got some food here. Okay. Wherein eventually the bad guys come in. So if you guys watch the show, bad guys were able to take over the place or the venue of this whole movie. When it comes to anime movies, I've always noticed that for them to justify their big budget, they usually try to do their movies in a different setting or different setup from where the anime normally does it. One, I believe it's just for reasons that they want to make a story that's separate from the normal storyline. But the main fact that I normally focus on this is because they want to make a setting which is bigger in scope, more grandiose, where they can justify the drawings, the animations, to make a very splendid looking setting where in the end, just like every usual anime movie, it ends up with and the venue gets destroyed, just like every Detective Conan movie or One Piece movie. The villains were relatively generic at best. There was of course a twist in the end, but then again, when it comes to the twist, I guess I could say it was expected, maybe because I've seen this done a lot of times. But more or less, the villains were they were just there, and they were good fodder just for the heroes to show off their skills. But overall, it was a good display of skills. Hey guys, sorry for the change of venue. Had to get off the car. So when it came to the end of the movie, that epic big fight at the top of the tower, all I could say was that it was a good ender. It utilized strong, they utilized our emotional connection to the heroes themselves and how they were able to bring about the epic fight that we expected from a My Hero Academy show. So the big end with the fight with the boss was good, wherein everybody did their part, everybody was fully utilized. Every one of the classmates of Deku was able to showcase their skill, and up to the last, wherein all of them were torn down to their bare essentials. And at the end, it all came down to just All Might and the bad guy. And of course, the thing that captured me the most in this movie was that the one kind of scene that we'd never see in the manga or maybe even the anime is both Deku and All Might going in for a Detroit smash together. It's always been All Might saving Deku, or maybe Deku coming in just for a quick sucker punch to the bad guy. But never is there a scene where it's both of them going in for the kill. And that last moment, everybody I could say was in awe. And there were good funny moments in this movie. And of course, a lot of the people I could hear at the time, a lot of the moviegoers laughed at the funny scenes. But it was at this final moment which you could hear all of the anticipation, all of the build-up of the movie was worth it. People were at awe. This last scene, even I could tell, was the one which captured the hearts of everybody. So overall, I give this movie a 8 out of 10, just with giving it room for improvement, but still pretty up high there for me, considering that there was that big epic fight in the end, which normally I would justify a 10 out of 10, but then again, let's always give room for improvement. So if you guys enjoyed this review, click like and subscribe to this channel so that you guys can stay up to date for all the latest videos, including all the vlog videos. So anyways, thank you.